Hello, I'm Jessica Meyers. I'm the sales director with Mary Kay. I am so excited to talk about one of my favorite topics in the whole world, getting new contacts in your business via facial boxes. Now, facial boxes in my head is like fishing. When you fish, you just throw that box out there and you don't know what you're gonna get. I built my business for about 3 years via facial box when I was having children, and I was no longer able to consistently go out and hand out my business card like I originally started my business with. So you really have to learn how to be flexible in getting new contacts into your business. So with a facial box, it's a simple idea. What you're doing is you're contacting a business. It's a local, independently owned business, whatever it is. I specifically, for a long time, did independent owned gyms, nail salons. I've had consultants that are really successful in vet clinics and dentists, you name it. A local coffee shop is a fabulous place to get a facial box out. So there's all sorts of different places that you can put out a facial box. I don't want you to get hung up with falling into one of those individual categories. It's an independently owned business where you can speak either with somebody who's going to be able to make a decision. So a manager, an owner, somebody that you can speak to and make a connection with. I am very methodical on how I do a lot of the prep work with handing and putting out a facial box. The way that my life was when I was originally doing this is that I had infant children and I wasn't able to go out all day long and get this stuff done. I was able to do a lot of this over the phone in my office on my own terms, and when I left my house, it was specifically to get these facial boxes out. So you may be a young mom, you might be a college student with a crazy school schedule, or you may be working a full-time career and just not have time to generate the leads, but be able to create the output that's going to get those new contacts so you can start growing your business this way. So with the prep work that you can do at your house, I Google searched where I wanted to work my business. So you can search it through types of business that you want to partake with, whether it's a specific tanning salon, a nail salon, a coffee shop, whatever. You can Google it that way, or you can Google businesses via zip code, depending on your geographic location. If you're in a big city, you can zip code search it if you want to work in a specific nook, or if you're in a small town and you want to just look at specific businesses in your town, you can do it that way. Whatever you want. I would then print it off and create a list, and I take copious notes when I'm speaking with people. So I would have the list in front of me. I created a quiet space in my place because you're calling a professional business. You need to project the fact that you are a professional business owner yourself, so you're gonna want a quiet place. When I had small children that were napping, I would do it during nap time. And what I would do is I would call each place and do a little recon on the business, so I knew exactly who I needed to talk to, and if I could have some decisions made over the phone, all the better. So when I would call the place, I would say, "Hi, could I please speak with either the manager or the owner of the business?" And some businesses, there were not a lot of perhaps native English speakers that were answering the phone. And so sometimes you have to be prepared to speak to somebody that you might need to explain a little bit more to. If that person was the person that answered the phone, I would ask them and say, if they would say, "I am the manager," I would say, "Okay, could you tell me what your name is?" And then as soon as they would say, "Sally," I would write it down. So that way I knew what it was, and I was writing it next to her business. And then I would go on to explain who I was and what my intention was. So after I found out who it was, I would go in. If that person that answered the phone was not the person that was able to make decisions, and they would say, "Oh, she's not here right now," I would say, okay, could you tell me who I should be looking for? And then she would tell me the name, and I would say, okay, perfect. Is there a better time that I could get a hold of her? And then ask and take notes. And that I don't explain anything to that person because they're not in a position to make that decision. At that point, if they're not there, you're just getting the information and you're going to call back at that better time because it doesn't make sense to explain it to that person. If when the time comes and you're able to speak to either the manager or the owner, this is exactly what I say to them. I say, hi, my name is Jessica Meyers. I'm a sales director with Mary Kay, and I'm looking to grow my business in this area. What I would love to do is to be able to buy a $20 gift certificate to your store and raffle it off to some of your customers, and I, in turn, will be able to offer them makeovers in my Mary Kay business. I partnered with some other businesses in this area, and I'm wondering if you'd like to be a part of something like this. And then you have to be quiet. And some of them immediately say, oh, that'd be great. Because what you're doing is you are already throwing out something for them. You're offering to purchase a gift certificate to their business. So they're already ahead. They don't care who it goes to. You've made that money for them because you're willing to buy whatever kind of gift certificate it is. If it's a business where $20 is a lot, scale it down. Do a $10 gift certificate or a $15 gift certificate. It's whatever you can financially afford in your Mary Kay business because this money is going to come from the profits of your sales. It's not coming from an outside source. And you want to be able to give this as a gesture to that person. I have found that $20 is really great because that's going to be able to do, if it's a nail salon, they can do a fill for about 20 bucks. They can do a couple polish changes. Whatever it is, it's a good, happy number. 20 bucks is good. And so if the manager says, oh, that'd be great, then you go on to say, perfect, I have a little facial box that's no bigger than the size of an envelope on the bottom, so it's not going to take up a ton of space. When can I bring that into you? And then you set up the time to bring it in. I always feel like the sooner the better. If you're talking to her that morning and she says, absolutely, bring it in, perfect, I'll be there by 5 o'clock tonight, or whatever it is. If they say, no, thank you, say, oh, no problem, thank you for your time, have a great day. If it's a, well, I don't really know, then I go on to say, you know what? It might be easier if I just came in and showed you what my intention is. And would it be okay if I just popped by for a second and showed you what I was looking to do? Then they'd say, sure. My experience has been when I've gotten those maybes, because a lot of times that happens with people that perhaps don't understand what you're saying over the phone. If they're not a native English speaker, it's so much easier to speak face to face with somebody. And if they can see you and you have lots of grins on your face, then it's a 90% chance that you're gonna get a yes. It's way harder to say no to you when you're in front of them with the thing, with cash in hand to buy a gift certificate. So that's how I do all of the setup. When it's time to show up, this is the facial box that I have. It's a very simple, it's a clear acrylic box. I love it because I can make it look however I want. You can buy these, you can Google them and look online. There's all sorts of different Mary Kay places that are, that you can sell something like this. I bought it for about 15 bucks. I bought 3 of them at the time because if I bought 3, I got free shipping. So you can buy as many as you want. Don't buy a ton because these, like I said, this is like a fishing pole. You're gonna throw them out and you're gonna get them back. So you don't need to have 20 of them, maybe 3 or 5, perfect. I like it because the back totally comes off and that's how you get the names out, but you can also insert a piece of paper in here and it allows you to customize it to that place, which is really great. So on here is the attached slips that you have in there. I tape a business card on the bottom, so if something ever happens to it or if there's questions, you can